I've got something really exciting to show you. I'm going to refocus you. Actually, no, I'm going to keep going because there's no screening at the moment. So, this is my new toy. And I say new, it's really not new, it's very old. This is very heavy, so I'm just going to lift it over to you. This is my new sewing machine. So, I think I'm going to have to move the camera backwards a little bit just to get this in the frame with me. A bit of an intro before I start. Hello, my name's Becky. I make videos about sewing, disability and books and just my life in general on the internet, and I'm about to introduce you to my new toy, which is under this cover here. But just to give you a little bit of information about this before we start and before I start talking, I am going to be talking a little bit about bereavement. So if you are not okay to hear that right now, I completely understand. Some people, all they want to do is talk about it. Other people simply don't want to talk about it at all, and I completely understand that. So this may not be the video for you. Please go and watch my other ones. I'll link them in the cards above. So yes, this came into my possession, formally, officially, a couple of weeks ago. But I have known that it existed for probably about a decade. But I now have it, partly because I have the space and partly because my granny died and this was in her house. And I just thought, no, now is the time to have this. I didn't know how soon it would be that I started doing sewing videos again, partly because the person that taught me to sew was my granny. She was a fabulous seamstress, and she was also quite tiny, so she had to make all of her clothes herself. And she taught me how to sew, probably from when I was about 2. She taught me how to sew, to knit. She made me fabulous costumes. In fact, I also found the pattern for a Princess Leia costume that I want to try and scale up. So that's a project for another day. But in her house was this sewing machine. I knew it was there because I'd said I would like it one day, but I don't have the room right now when I was at university. So now she's here. Before I show you her, I think it's her. Maybe we shouldn't gender machines. Before I show you this, I just want to tell you whose it is. And I will insert a photo. This sewing machine is from 1923. I'll tell you how I know that in a minute. And it belonged to my granny's granny. So it used to be in my great-grandmother's house. I knew my great-grandmother. She only passed away about 18 months ago, so it's been a bit of a shit year. 2 years and pandemic. It's just been shit. This used to sit in my grandma's house, my great-grandma, and this was her mum's. So I'll insert a picture now. The lady who is slightly older, has those sort of horn-rimmed glasses, that is my great-great-grandmother, and this was her sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out of the box now, and it's got this nice cover on it, and show you around. So I figure it doesn't matter too much if you can't see my head past a certain point, because you're not here to look at me, you're here to look at this. And so I'm going to lift the lid very carefully. And this thing's really heavy. I'm not gonna lie, it weighs a ton. This is the 1923 Singer sewing machine. I'm going to go back a little bit so that you can just see everything. I always forget to say this until the end. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please feel free to take a look at my other videos. They will be linked on the end card, and maybe subscribe if you want to stick around. One of the things I do really like about this is that it's hopefully going to be more eco-friendly. And someone made a point about this. I think it might have been Bernadette Banner. It was probably Bernadette Banner. Made a point about this and said, you know, that something like a hand crank or a treadle machine, which is one of those ones that's very similar to this, but it comes in a table and it has a paddle foot that you press up and down, and the belt turns the wheel rather than your hand. Both of these, if you have a working one, are better for the environment. And I just hadn't even thought about the impact that maybe using my Janome sewing machine that I've had for almost 15 years, it's an electric machine. I've just not thought about what impact that might have on the planet. So that's another positive thing about having something like this. I can use it both to explore historical ways of sewing and also to help the future out a little bit as well, so that we can keep sewing. What we've got here is a hand crank, hand turn Singer sewing machine. It's really beautiful. It still has all of the plate work, even has the little felt bit on the reel holder. Some of the amazing things here are as follows. Thing one, it works. So we kind of knew it worked. The foot goes up and down. If I put the foot up, I put the foot down. And this wheel, how it functions, so you never turn this away from you, you always turn it towards you. So I'm currently turning it away from myself, but I'm turning it towards you. You have the foot as it would be if you were sewing. So I'm just going to give it a little turn, and the needle goes up and down, which is just so exciting. Okay, we're going to stop doing that now, because really we should have some fabric in there. I don't want to do it a mischief. This all works. The needle down, actually, there we go. We've got all of the correct metal work around here. We've got the bobbin threader here, so the good news for me is I don't have to sit winding bobbins, which is very good news. It does actually have a bobbin winder. If we take this off, it's actually still quite well oiled. I think I'm going to need to go and get it serviced just to make sure there's nothing untoward happening. But what we've got in this hole is the bobbin. We've got it almost looks like a bullet casing, but we've got that in there. So when you turn the needle forwards, it pops out. It pops all the way out like that. Just make sure I can get hold of it. Yep, like that. And then just lever it out. Oh, we've got a cobweb. And that there, just pop it out. You can see we've got the bobbin there with the thread. So that fits into that bit there, and then you can wind on like you would with an electric machine. So that is the bobbin. I am going to need to, I'm just going to pop that back in there for now. There's a couple of things in this corner that I would really like to show you. The first being this number here. So what we've got is Y155777-3. And what you can do is you can look on the Singer website, and they actually have a catalogue of the serial numbers for these machines, and it will tell you what year it's from. So that's how I know that this is from 1923. The other thing is all of this kind of lovely fleur-de-lis, almost pattern around it, and the, I think they're either blackberries or loganberries or something on the metalwork here and at the back, which would tell you a little bit about the age of the machine. The other thing that I want to show you is this compartment here, which is horribly dusty, so I apologise, but if we lift this off, this is a little treasure trove, because what we've got in here are all of the different feet that come with the machine, and I don't know what half of these do yet, but let me get them out for you. It's if anyone would like to tell me what any of them do, so that I don't have to spend hours working this out, that would be wonderful. I think that one might be a rolled hem foot. Got all of these strange contraptions that are just wonderful. I'm so pleased that it has so much with it. I don't know what that is. And the other thing it's got with it is some strange odds and ends, but it's got a second bobbin, which is so useful. And lots of manky old pins in there as well. And little remnants of fabric. So what does need to happen before I use this is I need to read the instruction manual. I've had a little look. there are ones available, which is good news for me. And I will need to have a careful read because these are quite specialist pieces of equipment and I don't want to mess it up. We don't know each other that well yet. When I do get to know this machine, I will of course then tell you some more about it. And I'm also hoping to make, case in point here, I will then also be hopefully making things with it. I would really like to have a go at making a corset with this maybe. So, short and sweet from me today. This is the beautiful 1923 Singer hand-turned sewing machine that is now in my possession. As I said, if you know what any of these feet do, please tell me, please help me. I have not used one of these before, other than very briefly. An old friend had one that we used to use for sewing projects when we were teenagers, so I know a little bit, but I don't know that much. I'm really excited to get to know it and to get to using it. To give you a little bit of an update on some other projects that are coming up, I have a very exciting, potentially too ambitious for my own good project that I want to start working on, and I would like to start making some things for autumn as well. If any of you know me, you'll know that I'm already thinking about Halloween and it is August. But I don't have a problem with that, that's fine. I love it. The more time I get to sit in anticipation, the better. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will let you know when projects using this bad boy start to happen. It's worth mentioning that I am currently in the process of changing jobs, and I will be starting that new job that I've acquired. I'll be starting my new job in
6 days?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 6 days, I've got 6 days off. So I want to do some projects while I've got the time off, but I don't do this full time. I would love to, but I don't. So there may be a little bit of a delay in getting to see this in action as I get used to my new job, but I'm really excited to do both of those things, so that's great. Thank you also for listening to me talk a little bit about where it came from. It's not an easy time at the moment, but apparently it doesn't get easier, you just sort of grow around it, so that's what we're going for here. This video is dedicated to Diane Vera Fordham and the skills and knowledge and downright love of making things